Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at creating templates and using them in Photoshop. Now this template ability was added to Photoshop in Photoshop CC 2017. We're going to have a look and see what templates are and why you might use them. For this purpose, I've got a document open that I use all the time. What I use it for is to crop an image to this sort of speech bubble look so that I can use them in some videos that I'm making on Toonly. And you can see that I've been working on this for quite a while. I continually drop images into this. This is a really good application for a template because I use the file a lot, because it needs to be updated with a new image each time I use it. And this would neaten it up a lot. I don't need to keep all this stuff. I just haven't bothered to clean it up. So if you have a document that you use like this, or that you have this kind of use for, this is how you're going to do it. The first thing you're going to do is set up your document. Well, I need to clean this one up. So everything that I don't need in this document is going to disappear. So this one's actually got a hue saturation adjustment in it. I won't typically do that to all my files, so I'm going to remove it. I'm also going to remove all but one of these particular designs. So I've got this design here. I'm going to leave that in as a reference one. I'm going to select and delete everything else. Now, if I do that and everything falls apart, then you can easily undo it, of course, and just work out what you took away that was so important. Now, there's also a hue saturation adjustment here. Probably don't want that. Probably won't bother with that in future. So what I've got is my border, and I've got my cropped image here. And so that's basically all I need to be able to create these PNG images with this transparency in it for my Toonly videos. But before I do anything here, I could also clean things up just a little bit. What I'm going to do is put this image in a group and then put the mask on the group. That'll separate these two so that if, for example, I don't want to use a smart object, I could just drop an image in and I'm not going to have to clean up the mess, if you like. So let's go and create a new group. Let's go and put this image into the group, and then let's take the mask and we're going to apply the mask to the group rather than to the image itself. So you can see here that this is masked. It all looks exactly as it did before, but this image is now separate and the mask is on the group. So whatever we drop into this group is going to be masked. Just a little bit neater and tighter, just a little bit easier to work with potentially in future. So this is now my template. This is perfect. Life would be really good if I could use this over and over again. So we're going to save it as a template. We'll go to File and then Save As. You'll locate the place where you want to store it in. I've already located that. This is what your templates are going to look like once you save them. Now the template format is this one, the PSDT. So all you need to do to make this a template is to type in your name and add the letter T to the end of your file name. You have to do that manually because if you just choose Photoshop, you're automatically going to get a PSD file, not a PSDT file. Now I'm just going to name this template because I've already got one that's the same name. So I just want to make sure that this is not going to go over the top of it. Okay, template PSDT. So I'm also going to save this with the sRGB profile because that's going to be good for the web. That's where we're headed anyway with this content, and I'll click Save. Now I can just go ahead and close this. So I now have a template file created that I can use anytime I need to go and create one of those thought bubbles. So I'm going to open up my template file. So this is the one that we just created. It's got template on the end of its file name. I'll just click open. Now look up here, you can see that it's not called template any longer. And that's one of the things that templates allow you to do, is to be prompted when you go to save the file to give it a new file name. So it's not easily possible for me to overwrite that original template. Anytime I open the file, it's going to look like it does now. Regardless of whatever I do to this particular version of it, the original template is still there. So what I want to do now is to replace this image with a different image. So I'll just right click, and because this is set up as a smart object, I can just choose Replace Contents. If you didn't have it as a smart object, what you could do is just place a different image instead. So I just go to File, Place Embedded, and go and find a different image to use. So here's a folder with those images. I'm just going to click on one of them and click place. Now it's placed into the location here. That's just perfect. I can just go ahead and scale it. Make sure it's placed correctly. Click the check mark. I can, of course, get rid of this layer because I don't need it any longer. I can leave it because this one's gone on top, so it's not actually affecting the image. Now, if we were going to do the smart object replacement, let me just get rid of that layer and let's see the smart object replacement. I'm just going to right click and choose replace contents, and then I'm going to go and get the exact same image and click place. I think that if you've got a smart object, replacing the contents may well be the better option. Just seems to be a sort of neater approach to take things, seem to come in at a more realistic size. But now I can go ahead and save my file. If I choose file and then save, I'm going to be prompted with a new file name, so I can go ahead and save this as my ping image that I then need for my Toonly video. So if you have files that you use repeatedly in Photoshop by replacing elements or doing something different with them, consider the benefit that you would get by creating them as a template and just using the template file each time. As I said, this feature is available in Photoshop from CC 2017 onwards. Now before we finish up this video, I have more Photoshop training at Skillshare.com. When you sign up for Skillshare, you get access to thousands of classes there, including over 250 of mine. In the description below is a Skillshare coupon for you, which is at least as good as the current Skillshare offer, and typically mine will be even better. Please feel free to share this coupon with family, friends, and co-workers. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned things about Photoshop of which you were previously unaware. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be alerted when new videos are released. Until next time, my name's Helen Bradley. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel.